that I've never paid an influencer for my jewelry. Reem Abu Samra has worn it on the red carpet. Farhana Bodhi did the whole Bling season 1 with the Azzallure Jewelry. Diamonds are a good investment. It's a programming. You displayed your wealth through your diamonds. The bigger, the flashier, the wealthier you are.
Instagram is a tool to develop your business, and not being there is a recipe to disaster. You compare investment on gold is higher than investment on diamonds. What is the next step?
I'm doing this business till the day I die.
What kind of consumer insights you have gained while doing this business? What are the trends of jewelry styling?
I am anti-styles. I'm anti-trends. Never ever follow a trend.
Tell us about that moment when your client gave you a headache.
Oh my gosh. We all have those stories.
Welcome to another episode of the Jewellery Pod. Today's podcast is not about site holders. It's not about legacy of 1,000 years. It's about new people who are entering into the industry and doing exceptionally well. You need not to have legacy of like 100 years to prove your worth in 2024. You need to have that acumen and approach towards business and what your customer exactly wants. Today we have wonderful and beautiful Azzal with us from Azzallure Diamonds, who is literally blowing up on the internet at the moment. And today we're gonna uncover many things that she learned from her journey. Welcome, Azzal.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on Jewellery Pod.
Thank you.
We have been talking this on and off. Finally, we are doing this. I'm so happy.
Likewise.
I have a set of things to ask because I have been very vocal about this thing that I absolutely love people who are not from the industry or just doing great in their new approach, and they are literally giving new dimension to the industry. So tell us about your earlier days.
Earlier days, I've always been into fashion. I've always loved beautiful clothes, and you can't wear clothes without jewelry. It's so incomplete. It's so important to have your jewelry complement your clothes. And then I've started realizing when you're young, you do not pay so much of attention to jewelry. It's like, oh, you just pick up something from a high street store and then you just complement your clothes with it. But as you grow older, you start realizing jewelry becomes part of you. Your jewelry tells a story. It's a very subtle story. It tells you who you are, what are your fine tastes, what's your economic status. It tells a lot about you, more than your clothes, because clothes are so transient and so fashion and seasonal, but jewelry is forever to stay. That's when I realized jewelry is a personality. And then I started paying much more importance to my jewelry. And when I realized I wasn't finding the stuff I wanted, and whatever I wanted was just very, very expensive and unattainable. Like on my 16th birthday, my father asked me what I wanted, and I said a pink diamond. And he said, can't you ask for something easier? And I was like, no, it has to be a pink diamond. But my father, being the sweetheart that he is, found one with terrible inclusions. And I know he tried to make the best of he carat, like a 1 carat with so many inclusions, but I was fascinated. And I did not realize that a pink diamond was one of the rarest things to have back then. Now we know that red diamonds are rarer. So that's just to learn and to find what I want. I'm that kind of person. If I can't get what I want, I will make it. So that's what I do. And that's how this journey began. Eventually, I had to be making jewelry.
But that's a really bold move. I mean, like, it's
Yes, coming with no background, absolutely.
And the kind of insights that you're sharing on Instagram are not naive, honestly. I have to admit that you are pulling some really good facts from the past, from fashion, from latest happening, from awards to celebrities. And if someone would tumble on Instagram, they would know what I'm talking. So this kind of knowledge was always your thing, or you just got into this lately? And
it's the personality trait that I have. If I want to learn something, like as simple as if I want to get my eyebrows done, I won't just pop off to someone and get it done. I'll do research. So I do research for even how to wash cashmere or to wash fur, I will research. How to vacuum, I will research. The most minuscule things will be researched and lots of R&D will be done. So this is what happens. So when it came to jewelry, the amount of research that me and my team do. I mean, my girls will tell you how hard we work with our research, and it has to be accurate. So that's the basis of everything. That's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart. Knowledge acquired, but knowledge also applied. I think that is so important. And that's what got me. That's the reason it transitions on my social media, that I know what I'm saying. For this reason, I mean, I study. So that's what I did. When I want to do jewelry, and fine, making jewelry for yourself is beautiful, but then when you want to sell it to somebody, you better know what you're doing. That's the reason when I said, okay, I think I need to go to some sort of jewelry school, and I need to learn something at least. And I said, okay, let's start with diamonds. I love diamonds. Let's do a diamond appreciation course. So that was my first course with Van Cleef & Arpels. And I said, which jewelry school would I go to? And then as usual, I would want the best. So I went to L'École Van Cleef & Arpels in Paris and started off with them. I started doing their little courses. I didn't do their degrees because I didn't really require a degree, because I was employing myself. I didn't need to have a degree. But I picked up all their little courses. And each time I felt the need for a course, I went and did that.
And what's exactly your business model is? You're a private jeweler?
I would consider myself a private jeweler, yes.
And how do you operate? So you customize for people who come with their requirements. You have your own set of collections and preferences people know you for.
How much it's so interesting to find out that as much as women love jewelry, they know nothing about it. And including myself, because I realized this when I went to jewelry school. And I said, I think women need to be educated. So the first thing I did was, I did not create a niche for a particular kind of type of women. My business is inclusive with all women. So I do natural diamonds with gold. I do lab diamonds. I do synthetic diamonds. And I do it in silver as well. So every woman can come to me, not a particular type of woman who says, no, my need is only natural diamonds. For the simple reason, I think women need to be told what they want. So I have a website that has I call that my travel and destination jewelry, because that jewelry, trust me, looks real to the undiscerning eye. And when you travel, you do not want to take your precious jewelry, but you want jewelry that complements your precious clothes. You don't take travel clothes, you take good clothes when you go, especially for destination weddings. And that was the reason I started the business, because I think I couldn't find high quality travel jewelry. So I have travel jewelry, which is on the website. Browse through it. It's an impulsive buy. You love it. You pick it up. It gets shipped to you and delivered. Then I have bespoke. If you like something and you need something specifically made, that's when you come to a consult for me. So I do bespoke and as well as a website dropship.
And that's awesome. I'm like, you are not even binding yourself into one particular type. I really love that. It's so required in today's era to be versatile.
It was so trending to suddenly just jump on the lab diamond bandwagon, because that's where my profits were coming, the maximum amount of profits were coming in. But then I said, that's so rude. I am alienating so many sections of women, which is not right. You have to start a business with a purpose. You can't start a business just for profit making. So that's the reason why I have this broad compass of options.
Instagram is surely a new age tool to develop your business, and not being there is a recipe to disaster. To what extent Instagram is really helping you pull more clients?
Oh my gosh, Instagram is on social media, and for my online presence, it's Instagram. I don't know how that happened. I think because I concentrated, it's wherever your attention goes, where your focus is. So I concentrated on Instagram at that time 4 years ago, because Instagram was visual. Yeah. Now, then TikTok came in, and I wasn't really concentrating on TikTok. And it was actually my personal account. So I had about, I think, 4,000 followers. They were personal friends. And I started posting on that personal account my jewelry. And then slowly that personal account morphed into my professional account. So that's what happened. I did not think that, okay, let's make this. It wasn't even thought of. It was such an organic transition. And that's what happened. And I would post every day. I would post designs, I would post stuff, and slowly my personal moved into followers that were professional. So that's how it morphed.
But some really good insights that some traditional jeweler would only give, like you compare investment on gold is higher than investment on diamonds. That kind of insight I really wouldn't expect from someone who started their business probably 5 years back.
Oh, thank you. That's because women need to know. My whole business is women need to know what they're buying. Very, very, very important. We are stuck in a program, and we are just listening to, actually this will come in the second question when you ask me, then I will explain that to you. So yes, this is it. I just want whoever follows my page just not to love designs and buy them blindly. You need to know what you're getting into.
Tell us about the collaboration you did with Sergio and Caroline.
This is an experience I'd love to share, is that I've never paid an influencer for my jewelry. I've sent it to them. I've told, with a little note saying, if you love it, it's yours. It's a small little gift. I would appreciate if you could tag me and give a little shout out. And if you don't feel like it, that's perfectly fine. My note said exactly that. And no influencer did not put it. I also saw them keep repeat wearing it at events. So, I mean, I've seen Reem Abu Samra has worn it on the red carpet so many times. Farhana Bodhi did the whole Bling season 1 with the Azzallure jewelry. So I've been with, I think that has been my only sense of marketing, influencers. I think because that's the best way to market. A woman wearing your jewelry is how you sell. Me wearing my jewelry, I sell my jewelry. And then recently Caroline Stanbury did the whole Diwali edition for me. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's nice to see that. And again, with Caroline Stanbury, we just sent everything for her 3 days, and she had the option to wear or not to wear, and she loved it. She called me the next day. She said, I have an event to go to. I would love some more jewelry. And I'm like, Caroline, I'm sold out. There's nothing left. You have to wait for the end of the month. So that felt beautiful as well.
That's really awesome, and I love how it gives a different direction to the traditional business that diamond and jewelry is actually. Azzal, what is the next step? How you see yourself down the line, or what's something that you have on a bucket list that you want to achieve with your own brand?
Bucket list. I don't know. I just want to do this one step at a time, one fabulous design at a time. I'm in no hurry because I'm doing this business till the day I die. So I have no targets per se. Is like this year I hit 2 million, next year I want $10 million. I'd love that. That's great. But that has been coming in so organically because I've not been concentrating on the financial aspect, and I've just been concentrating on pleasing my customers. And it's doing brilliantly. Every time a new design or a new customer challenges me, that's my high. That's my next stepping stone. That creates a new ceiling for me. The more difficult, the more interesting. So I would love this to be a legacy where my kids would be interested, and my grandkids. I was watching the Cartier legacy. It worked only because 3 generations were interested in it. That's what happens. It has to be a generational thing. I'd love that. So I'm in the long race. I'm in no hurry to sell my brand, make it a IPO. If that happens, yes. But there are no cookie cutter rules. The only rule is that I want to be known to be making exceptional jewelry.
And was there a moment in your life where you have to see the commercial part of the jewelry as well as by not compromising on the design aspect of as a designer that's a war between your mind and your customer's requirement? How do you balance that?
So I always had that issue because I never looked at the finances of it. But then to really do that, so my website is, I would consider my fast moving, no stress, buy them off, drop ship. They are beautiful. They just go. The client loves it, clicks on it, buys it. There's no stress involved. I just need to see that it's delivered. That's the fastest money I make. So maybe that's what balances it out for me. I would say that is it, but otherwise I'm refusing to compromise. I'm just refusing to compromise.
And while all this, you have also gained some really good insights about consumer mindset. You don't see lab-grown diamonds as competition. You don't see color stone-oriented jewelry as competition. You don't see lab-grown color stones as any kind of bar for yourself. You're so open for everything. You love experimenting. You're giving exceptional designs to your customers. What kind of consumer insights you have gained while doing this business?
First is the psychological factor. Everybody buys something to feel better. That is it. You dress up and you go for a dinner to feel better, not to eat a particular food. Let's say you want to eat the escargot or the oysters. You're doing it to feel better. You buy a car to feel better. You do anything to feel better. So it's the same thing with jewelry. Women buy jewelry to feel better. So that's the thing that is the whole driving psychological factor behind jewelry. And after buying that, they need to feel better for a long time. So this is what I have learned. And I want my customers to feel better all the time. Every time they like something, they see it, it has to be make them feel better. Then from the time they decided they wanted it till the time they had it in their hands. And they should feel so good that they have to come back to feel better again. That's the psychological factor I've realized behind women. They just need to feel better.
Have you ever came across any generational force behind buying a lab diamond or natural diamond? Tell us any incident where...
I'll tell you the reason this happens. Do you know how you wake up every morning and you brush your teeth? And have you ever questioned whether that's the right thing to do? Do you know that when you brush your teeth with toothpaste, you kill all the great, amazing bacteria in your mouth, which is so good for your gut health? No one, even the most educated people today, don't question it. They wake up and they use a generic toothpaste. And it's the same thing with diamonds. You've been programmed from a very young, diamonds are a good investment, diamonds are a good investment, diamonds are a good investment. It's a programming. So either you step out of that programming and you question it. Why are diamonds a good investment? But I understand that because the old generation didn't have cars to splurge on, didn't have Birkins to splurge on, didn't have Botox to splurge on, or surgeries to splurge on, didn't have designer clothes to splurge on. So they really had nothing. You kind of displayed your wealth through your diamonds. The bigger, the flashier, the wealthier you are. Today, women have so many more options. You won't believe this scenario that I was put into. This is a good client of mine. Her son was getting married. She's got her traditional, no, I love my big solid diamonds, and everything has to be my 5 carat and my 10 carat. When I go for my kitties, they need to be flashed about. And her son was getting married, and she wanted her daughter-in-law to wear a 10 carat wedding ring or it was the engagement ring. And she was insisting on it being 10 carat. She says, no, my bahu has to be wearing a 10 carat. And I was like, okay. And she says, there's one problem. She wants a sports car and she wants a lab diamond. So I said, but she can have both. So she was like, oh no, how is this going to be? I said, she's going to have her diamond, which no one will ever know. I'm not going to speak about it. Unless you're going to speak about it, no one will ever know that she's wearing a lab diamond, and she can still have a sports car. So this was where 2 generations came together, managed to find their middle ground, and everyone was happy.
I think that kind of narration, that kind of word need to put out that, sure, that the natural diamonds do hold legacy, but do I want them? It's not like always.
It's not always. And strangely, when I showed her the lab and put it next to her natural, and I said, can you tell me which one is the real? And she says, oh my gosh, have I been wasting my money all this time? So I've never seen a client who's insisting and says, I only buy natural diamonds. And when they see a lab diamond, they're like, will anyone come to know? And I'm like, no, never. And they're like, okay, they've always managed to change their mind just by looking at the stone. And also another strange thing is clients who come to me and say, what's my buyback value? I want natural diamonds because, I want to sell it. But honestly, research has proven that only 0.9% of women actually sell their diamonds. So I don't even know why they're talking about buyback value. People sell their gold, but they don't sell their diamonds.
That's actually true. I wouldn't take the name of the brand, but they are known for the buyback value of their gold and diamond jewelry. And I was speaking with someone from top of the management, and they were saying it's a beautiful policy that they came up with long time back. They're winning the market in India and now in Middle East, and
no one comes back.
Honestly, nobody is coming back for all these things.
That's the thing. So it's again a programming. Women are told you need to buy a diamond. You see, it's a whole conglomerate who decided and told the world that the diamonds are scarce, and the rest of the people just shut their eyes and followed.
Fun fact, talking about conglomerates, I have spoken with diamond site holders. I have spoken with someone who's working intensively on the promotions and campaigns to promote natural diamonds. I have spoken with lab-grown people. Honestly, these are not fighting amongst each other. It's the consumers. It's a marketing gimmick. It's marketing side who's making it. This is better and this is not. Reality is that both have their own market.
There is a market for everybody. The lack of, and you create scarcity of anything. Like if you say there are only 3 Birkins, the women are going to run and buy it. Just create scarcity. Say last piece at this price, you will And this is what I want to tell women: you don't need to come from a sense of lack. There is no lack on this planet. Everything's available. You want something, you will get it. Just don't have the scarcity, because that's where you get fooled. When you're told something is scarce, that's the time someone's manipulating you. And just don't be manipulated.
Azzal, what's your personal preference when it comes to jewelry? What's your style? You like more classic? You more like floral? You like more color stones?
Oh, I'm very temperamental. So the strangest thing is also, I love diamonds and I love lab diamonds, but I love moissanites. So many people don't know what moissanites are. Now, a moissanite is rarer than a diamond. It's the diamond from the stars. So I call that the diamond from the stars because actually it's from a meteorite. When a meteorite hits the earth, you find a moissanite. But it's so rare, it's so exclusive, it's, I think, 1,000 times more expensive than a diamond. But you get a lab version of a moissanite. Now, to create a lab moissanite is much cheaper because it's more economical, so it's even more ethical because you're using less. Mind you, to create a lab diamond, you still use a lot of heat. A lot of energy is consumed. So it's still not very sustainable. It's more sustainable than a mined diamond, but it's not sustainable per se if you really want to talk about sustainability and ethical buying. A lab moissanite is so sustainable and so ethical, and it is so much more prettier. So I love making my jewelry in moissanites, for me personally. And then when people see that, they love that too. So and moissanites are more procurable. I get every stone. I'm mad about colored stones. And because of their rainbow refraction, so their pinks and their yellows and their blues and their greens it looks amazing. It looks enchanting. And I'm so different. Like, women want their stones to look like diamonds. They don't want to stray from the normal path and say, oh no, it doesn't look like a diamond, I can't wear it. And I'm like, it doesn't look like a diamond, how exciting. So that's where I go with. And then my design is always based on, I think I like designs that can morph, that I can wear with my jeans, and it has to be comfortable. So no matter what, it has to be, I hate heavy jewelry where you are waiting for an event to take it off, and that's with most of our Indian jewelry. So I've come up with jewelry that is easy, that's comfortable, and that speaks of, and it has to be highly personal. So it has to speak of your personality. This is what my jewelry embodies.
But do you have any idea? You just told like 3 trends as well of 2024, 2025. These are
really?
trends.
I didn't know this.
These are the awesome trends that Trend Vision magazine has just
launched.
My gosh,
I never follow trends.
Talking about trends, so I could clearly gauge out that you love your style. You love something that complements your style, not that you would go with something that trending and then you acquire it as a style. But about color stones, yes. About diamonds, yes. What are the trends of jewelry styling you would love to tell to our audience?
First, don't go for styles. I am anti-styles. I'm anti-trends. Never ever follow a trend. The simple reason you are wasting your money. Even if it's a costume jewelry, it costs at least $1,000, a high quality costume jewelry. Wait, you'll be buying 5 pieces at $5,000 and the trend is gone in 2 seasons and you can't repeat it. Why would you do that to yourself? This is what I want to tell women. Customize. Find a jeweler. Tell anybody's going to do this for you. Pop into any jeweler. Just don't come to me. I'm not promoting myself here. Pop into the jeweler. Say, this is my budget. It's $5,000. Create a piece for me that I can wear for 2 seasons or for 2 years. And there will be a buyback guarantee because the gold is valuable. And if you are stuck with that jeweler, a jeweler will bend backwards to use the same gold, to repurpose the same stones. You're always at an advantage. I have friends cleaning up their closets and throwing out trend jewelry in hordes, and that's wasted money. You are also, it's the planet, it's wasted. I don't know, it's just wastage. It's garbage at the end of the day. What are you doing to yourselves? This is my whole idea. Pick up something, find your style. If you don't know what your style is and you're still morphing, find a jeweler whose style you think is amazing. Have a consult. I'm sure there are so many jewelers like me who would love to give you a consult. For example, there is a woman she's really tiny. She's barely 4 feet 9 inches. She's the most beautiful client I have. She's tiny. She's like a little porcelain doll. She wants to wear 10-carat solitaires. They don't even sit on her ears, and it hides her face because all you can see is to 10, 20 carats. And I'm like, it doesn't work for you. So that's what we did. We made Moissanite replicas and we said, walk around for a week and see how you feel. And then we gave her, I told her, ideally, 3 carats would look so beautiful on you. It's also very classy. Because you're going to do this on a daily basis and see which one. She came back and she bought 3 carats. So this is the consultation women need. Understand your style, understand your niche, stick with it and be confident. Just because Deepika Padukone is wearing the Cartier nail necklace, that doesn't mean everyone has to run and buy it.
That's so true. The choker necklace doesn't sit on everyone's neck.
You have to have a neck. You have to know your personality. Maybe it's just not going to work for you. I think there has to be, like how you have a stylist, there has to be a jewelry stylist now. And I think I'm filling that niche pretty well now.
That's really food for thought. I think we need jewelry stylists.
We need jewelry stylists. There you go. Now. I'm the new jewelry stylist.
Awesome. And I'm not jewelry designer myself, but I have an insight for product development, product design. Chokers don't sit well, cuffs don't sit well, ear climbers don't sit well.
You have to understand that. Let's say you walk into a big diamond store. Most women are intimidated by walking into the store. That is the wrongest emotion to have. How can you be intimidated? You're the consumer. You're paying. The salesman is intimidated by you. You walk in with a sense of intimidation, he can feed off your energy fields. He's already in the upper hand. He's already in a more powerful position. He's going to push anything onto you and he's going to tell you it's beautiful. He has to make his commission. You're going to ask him or her, do you want lab diamonds? What do you think? Should I do lab diamonds or should I do natural diamonds? Of course he's going to say natural diamonds. His commission is higher on natural diamonds. Women need to understand this. They have to walk into a place to be comfortable, and that's what I offer. I will meet you at the coffee shop of your choice. I will meet you at your arts club. I will meet you somewhere so comfortable that you're not intimidated. This is what women need to know.
Tell us about that moment when your client gave you a headache.
Oh my gosh. We all have those stories. I think women come with no client is a headache until she doesn't know what she wants. There are women who come and say, oh my gosh, Azzallure, my friends are wearing you, so I think I should be coming to you. I'm looking at their jewelry. But they are not coming with a specific purpose that, I want this ring, and I want this ring for this purpose. So when they don't know what they want, they don't become a headache, but because they don't know what they want, I have a choice to kind of push whatever I want onto them, which is easy, but then I know at the end of the day, they aren't going to be happy. And then after 3 months, they're going to come because it was something they did not want. So I wish women never go and shop when they do not want anything. You have to know what you want.
That could be controversial.
This is it. It's to a seller, yes, because we want you to not know what you want so that we can sell you what we want to sell you. But that's so wrong. That's so unethical. Like my business, I call my business, I want to be a holistic entrepreneur. I was talking to my fellow entrepreneur friends and she was like, what is that? And I said, it's holistic entrepreneurship.
More mindfulness.
Mindfulness. I do not want to sell to hit my targets at the end of the year. I do not want to be doing things like this. I want my customer to be happy because when she does and when she thinks of me, for me, energy is currency. So when she thinks of me, she's happy. That energy comes to me. That builds my brand, that builds my bank balance, that builds my portfolio. So I think this is a very new thing, holistic entrepreneurship. And I'm really grateful to have stumbled on something like that.
Also on selling side, so these are the pillars of consumer behavior. And when I say consumer behavior, it's not just end user, it's not D2C, it's also B2B. I'm big time into B2B. And when I have changed this approach that I don't have to show my product to my client, can you imagine, I meet the same client in a month 6 times. And I have divided my schedule, like 2 times I'm going to meet him casually, 2 times for the product that he needs 2 months after. And 1 time I'm going to ask and say to him how we can increase his business. I get fast access entry every time to his office, no matter how busy he is, just because of this approach. I make sure that I don't barge him. I'm not superimposing myself onto them. And it's been like beautiful 12 years. It's working so well.
That's because your intentions are right. This is what we need to learn. What intention are you going with? If your intention is right, nothing can take you astray. You are on the right path for life. And not only in business. I think in every area. Sit with intention before you
With your friends?
Yes.
Everywhere.
Don't have an agenda. Don't be in relationships because you need something from it. You're going to get a half-hearted relationship because your intention was not right. And this works with business as well. It's a whole synergy. You've got to understand that.
Azzal, right now you're in best phase of your life. How would you tell new entrepreneurs, could be irrespective of the jewelry industry or not, what were your 3 important learnings?
Best thing for an entrepreneur, if you have an idea, don't research, start. Because if I did all the research of what an entrepreneur, because I'm in the toughest business in the world, I didn't know this. Jewelry is the toughest, most saturated business to be in. If you are successful as a jeweler, you can be successful in anything. I didn't know this. I was like very happy, very Pollyanna, let's start a business without any information. And then I learned as I went, and I am so glad because if I had, I would have never started. And this is for any business. Never do too much of homework because the best part about entrepreneurship is you learn on the go. And you come out of it. There are days when you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pull this through? And you know what? You just do. It is so fantastic and fascinating. And if you're an egomaniac and you need to kill your ego, start a business. If you are lazy and you're irresponsible, start a business. Because a business, I don't know, just cleans up every area of your life and makes you such a fantastic human being. For the simple reason is, earlier I would wake up out of motivation because I wanted to do something and I wanted to feel important. And today I wake up out of responsibility. Motivation doesn't last very long, if you realized. It falls somewhere down the line. But when you wake up out of responsibility, why are men successful? Because they wake up in the morning, they have bills to pay, they have children to feed. That responsibility, it's not that they love their jobs, but they love their family. And the responsibility makes them move. Today, my motivation has transitioned to respond. I have clients to please. I have salaries to pay. That responsibility makes me move. Now there's no motivation. I don't even need motivation. So this is, seriously, a business makes you a far better human being. Everybody should get into business. It is important.
You just admitted that you're fine with learning on the go. What was the important learning that, or maybe late learning, I should say, that you wish that you should have known before?
Most entrepreneurs won't agree with this. It's an oxymoron, but your creativity is at its highest when you have limited funds. You make things happen. You think faster. You think quicker. Otherwise, whenever you got a problem solve, you'll problem solve it with funds. But when you don't have the funds, you will find an alternative. And it's so beautiful because you learn so much more. You're thinking out of the box. And then you watch and see the trajectory of your business. It moves into such beautiful dimensions and directions. So that's what I learned.
And when you move from fashion to jewelry, what were the initial hurdles if you like to take few?
The initial hurdle is people first think that when you are a decently pretty woman, you really aren't very smart. So I remember when I had a talk with someone about potentially getting into one of these organizations, and they were like, oh, is your business licensed, or are you just sitting at home and doing this and they use the word time pass. And are you is this serious? And then I had a collaboration that wasn't comfortable, wanting to deal with me because they thought I wasn't serious enough. And they said, no, we've taken a male counterpart because, men are more serious than women are. And that was the only 2 times that I've had this issue. But otherwise, I think I've been accepted so beautifully in this industry. It was the smoothest thing for me. I think people don't know until you speak, or maybe I've built a reputation today. And I was so impressed when I popped into somebody, a friend of mine who is a good brand today, and she has major brand value. And when she spoke to me, she said, you are a brand now. And I was like, really? She's like, yes. If I mention Azzallure, everyone knows you. She says, you are a brand. You are not just Azzal selling Azzallure. And I was like, if you speak and you speak your mind and you speak intelligently, and you got to do the walk, you got to do the time. People need to see the progress. You cannot wake up in 3 weeks and say, oh, I've paid for this award and I've got myself. You could do all of that. Get yourselves on cover of magazines. You could get enough of podcasts. But if you haven't done your time, you aren't going to get credibility. So I think it's the time. You got to wait your time. You got to prove yourself anywhere, in any field or in any industry. So that's what's happened.
Wow. Would you agree that doing a professional design degree does some good to you, or you have different thoughts on this?
If you want to do a professional degree in design, see that you are working simultaneously somewhere. Do not do it, it's ridiculous, because then you come back, you've spent so much of money and you have no work experience. So no one, even I'm not going to employ you if you have this fancy degree and you have no experience at all. So this happened to me. I thought that I needed to do a professional course, and I did a couple of courses, and I realized it was such a waste. The only thing I took from that learning at L'École Van Cleef at Apples was I just respect my artisans and my craftsmen much more.
Nobody says that much. This narration has to be out more, that artisans are doing some fab job.
It is so hard. It is so hard, and they make it look so easy. And it's harder for them because they're interpreting a designer. They are bringing something to life. And trust me, that takes years of work. It is so beautiful to watch that, and I really appreciate them. So if you're an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily need to know how to do everything, but you need to know how it's done. You don't need to be an expert in every area of your field. Like, I don't need to be a digital pro at my designing. I don't need to be a digital setter or a master setter or a master cutter or a master identifier of the diamonds. I need to employ the best. This is what I have learned.
And most of the times, design manufacturing is misunderstood as designing itself.
People need to know so much more. And this is what you learn. The more you are an entrepreneur, the more you learn, the less you know. It is shocking. I'm like, is this ever going to finish? But it's so beautiful, because the day I get to know everything, I'm going to be very, very bored. So it's beautiful. I'm loving this journey. Let's talk about men, because men wear so much jewelry now. Oh my God.
You've done any collections for them?
I haven't had collections. I've done one-off pieces for them. Yeah.
Okay.
Never a collection, because either you have the hip hop trend, which is really blingy, very nice. That's a niche. Very few men dress like that. But it's changing. Have you seen the Van Cleef and Apples that men are wearing? And it's become mainstream. It's not just the hip hop culture that is wearing it. It's mainstream. So I'm thinking this is the Cartier nail is now a big thing. So I'm thinking slowly jewelry is going to get into mainstream. And in the next 3 or 4 years, men are just realizing, why should I spend all this money on a woman? She'll take my diamonds, like Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
She'll take my diamonds and she'll run away. See?
That.
But why don't I invest in myself?
Yeah.
And I think men are figuring this out, and they've decided to make jewelry for themselves now.
Azzal, talking about celebrities and HNIs, we have seen some most controversial divorces that led to awesome diamond collection. What do you have to say about that?
See, that's where lab diamonds can come into play, because, Jennifer Lopez has procured, I think, 3.
More than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What a fantastic way to collect jewelry, right? Or diamonds. So, if you propose with lab diamonds, let the woman know firstly, don't fool her. Let her know it's a lab diamond so she can keep it, and then you don't feel all that bad. Or if the woman is good enough, she would just return it to you. So, also celebrities spurn this whole, women never, earlier the concept of an engagement ring was your 6 to 8 months salary of a man, and he gave it to you, proving to you that you were worth so much to him, that this is what you are worth. That was why you got it. That's why engagement rings were expensive. And depending on your economic status, or up to a year, you could maximum go to a 3-carat diamond. But it's the celebrity trend and the media that said, no, it should be 10, it should be 20. So that's where lab diamonds come in. If you can't afford it and you want a big stone, Play with a lab diamond. It's beautiful. Don't pressurize the man so much. I think this is how it should be.
And won't you agree that men are getting smarter with the jewelry? They're wearing them. They're pulling it so well. I love the latest campaigns of Van Cleef and Cartier. Your take on men's jewelry?
I'm so happy men are doing this. I think men are just tired of funding women. Why should women be having all the fun? They work so hard. They need to be showing off their wealth as well. And why not? This is one of the best investments. It's your diamonds. And if you're doing designer stuff, you know it sells better on the secondary market. You do get a premium on it. So yeah, why not? I'm loving it. It's just that when it gets a bit too flashy is when I have my issues with it. I mean, I love the classic man who doesn't wear any jewelry and his woman shows the jewelry that she is. But today, marriages aren't lasting forever, and women are being compared to tornadoes where they come in wet and wild and then they take your house and car with it when they go. So it's safer to invest in yourself these days. So yeah.
Classic Alhambra bracelet and men. Your take again?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm coming to terms with that because I myself don't wear. I love the Alhambra. It's beautiful, but I can't wear it because it's just so much of something. Just doesn't make you exclusive. You need to stand apart. So that's the thing where people are falling in for trends. So the Alhambra, you'll never see me wear it. Never. Only because everyone else is wearing it. Like if you want me not to wear something, make everyone wear it.
Talking about exclusivity, we are in beautiful city, Dubai. How much credit would you give to Dubai for everything happening around us?
Oh my God, Dubai is the reason I'm making big diamonds and selling them. It's nowhere in the world. And I see the demographic. When I get a call and I do not know who the client is, and if it's just a virtual call and I just have to hear the voice, I know the demographic of the woman on the size of the carat she demands. So if it's Arab, it's 20 carat, Arab and expat Arab. Average is 20 carat. If it's South Asian, it is 10. And if it's Europe and the US, it's always 3 carat and below. So yes, it's a psychology. You just know it. So, and you know, the bigger the diamonds, the more money you make. So Dubai loves its bling and loves its diamonds. And women in Dubai don't just buy once in a lifetime. They consistently buy. And then the social media and the safety. Nowhere in the world can you wear a 20 carat and walk around. It is in Dubai. So this is the most beautiful city to have a diamond business in. It's fantastic.
One message one motto of your life that helped you always, Azzal. We are very near to conclude our podcast. I loved every topic we picked.
Thank you. I love the questions you asked.
That's just energy, I would say.
So true, so true.
I also feel 100% when I'm getting awesome replies from you.
Thank you.
So how would you conclude this? One motto that you stood by and always helped you and people should be hearing to their inner voice, what that should be?
Only sell what you believe in. I do not sell what I would never wear. I did start that in the beginning when I was approached by someone and said, you know what, we're starting a platform, a dropship platform. And I did a market research and I said, oh, you know, let's see what works. And I did a thing. I didn't sell a single piece because those were things I thought the market needed and not what I would never wear one of those pieces. And then I realized that was one of my fastest and biggest failures, but it was the fastest failure to learn from. So I can't call it a failure because I learned immensely from that. So I was like, I'm never going to sell what I do not wear. And that has been my motto. If you don't believe in your product, never sell it. And if you don't believe in your product, start a new product or just don't do it at all. You're wasting your life. Believe or just don't do anything you do not believe in.
That was a great take, Azzal. Thank you so much for walking us through your journey. Your entrepreneur journey is equally impressive, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you
so much for being today.
What a pleasure. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you for staying for this lovely session. I do hope you have earned some insights out of it. We're going to be soon back with next episode. Till then, please do not forget to interact with us on all the platforms mentioned in the description. Till we meet again, thank you so much.